Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. You know, I noticed this leftist trend, where they love using shaming tactics to go after people who ask questions. Brian Stelter's infamous moment, where he claimed that one of the most dangerous new trends, a disturbing new modern trend, is the concept of doing your own research. You know, we've seen this narrative, especially recently, that anyone who questions authoritative sources or authoritative establishments is automatically an extremist, a crazy person. And now they're using the same gaslighting tactic in respect to the justice system and federal agencies. Even though it's clear that Donald Trump is being treated totally unfairly, it's as clear as frickin' day. They gaslight and claim that you're a crazy person for questioning such a perfect, impartial, totally credible system. My reply is what it usually is. Give me a frickin' break. Impartial my behind. Our criticisms, Donald Trump's criticisms, and the stance that Donald Trump is being ridiculed for by the left, he is 100% correct. Let me show you guys what I mean by that. Let's talk about the judge in this case, and let's tackle this supposedly unquestionable, impartial justice system. We've got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright folks, so the left of course is gaslighting on this issue. They're saying Donald Trump is a crazy person for this stance. Donald Trump demands recusal of DC judge in January 6 conspiracy case, change of venue. Trump has vowed to seek a venue change for his trial on conspiracy charges related to alleged attempts to overthrow the 2020 election, as well as a recusal of Judge Tanya Chutkan, who has been assigned the case. He wrote, "There is no way I can get a fair trial with the judge, quote, assigned to the ridiculous freedom of speech/fair elect case. Everybody knows this, and so does she. We will be immediately asking for recusal of this judge on very powerful grounds, and likewise a change of venue out of DC. The latest fake case brought by crooked Joe Biden and deranged Jack Smith will hopefully be moved to an impartial venue, such as the politically unbiased nearby state of West Virginia. Impossible to get a fair trial in Washington, D.C., which is over 95% anti-Trump, for which I have called for a federal takeover in order to bring our capital back to greatness. It is now a high-crime embarrassment to our nation and, indeed, the world. This indictment is all about election interference." Does that sound crazy to you? Because that's what the left wants to convince us of. That doesn't sound crazy to me. It sounds like basic common sense. You know, with a grand jury, you can indict a ham sandwich. That's the saying you've heard a million times before. With a DC grand jury, you can indict whatever you want, as long as the political motive aligns. I mean, folks, look at the election results in the District of Columbia from the 2020 election. This district voted for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris at a rate of 92.15%, and only 5.4% voted for Trump. It's possibly one of the most partisan Democrat places in the nation. There's no way that Trump could get a fair trial there, which is why these political witch hunt sham cases are so unbelievably ridiculous to begin with. You know, the same thing's happening in Georgia. Georgia DA expected to charge Trump under anti-mafia RICO law. Completely ridiculous, but it's easy to fly because the grand jury's in Fulton County. He's being investigated and most likely going to get charged by the Fulton County District Attorney, Fani Willis, who's a total partisan, a total corrupt Democrat actor. You know, it brings me back to the same thing that I always say. Do I look stupid to you? Does it say stupid on my forehead? That's how it feels with this ridiculous gaslighting nonsense. Like I'm a crazy person for seeing the absolute obvious. Am I crazy? Or am I simply pointing out the obvious fact that even mainstream media talking heads seem to admit and even openly celebrate? They're literally banking on this. I mean, Nancy Pelosi, after her failed Ukraine impeachment, literally went on MSNBC to say that, well, don't worry, just because this impeachment failed, we still have a backup plan in New York to indict and go after Donald Trump. She said that back in like 2020. It's obviously all part of the plan. They admit it openly. Here's a shocking clip, well, a shocking, not so shocking clip. I mean, it is MSNBC, where again, they pretty much say it in the open. Joy Reid says Trump faces a demographic reality in DC court with Jamaican-born woman of color judge.
This plea of not guilty on all charges.
It has to be a humbling day for Donald Trump to finally face justice, particularly there in Washington, D.C. They oppose that venue for many reasons. The demographics of it are interesting. This judge name, I believe this magistrate judge is Mokshila Upadhyaya, or Upadhyay, I might be pronouncing it wrong, a woman of color. the judge he will be facing in the trial, Jamaican-born woman of color. He seems to be facing sort of demographic reality, legal reality, and, situational reality. He is not President Trump the way that he pretends to be when he's on the campaign trail. He's just Donald Trump. And that is what we intend our presidents to become again.
They're celebrating it. They play this identity politics nonsense. They've labeled Republicans and Donald Trump as evil, terrible, deplorable racists. And now they're celebrating the fact that Donald Trump is facing a demographic reality. In other words, the judge in the case is obviously a Democrat judge who happens to be a Jamaican-born woman of color. And so they're outlying. I mean, they're saying it openly. Trump's not going to get a fair case. It's not going to be impartial because of this demographic reality. It's unreal. The charges don't make sense. The grand juries are obviously politically corrupt and compromised. The motivation is obviously election interference, and the judges who are assigned these cases cannot be trusted. The political partisan nature of the District of Columbia is being weaponized. And actually, speaking of that, the Southern District Florida judge, Eileen Cannon, overseeing Jack Smith's document case, essentially alluded to the exact same thing in a letter that she wrote directly to Jack Smith. Judge Cannon deals huge blow to special counsel Jack Smith. Judge Eileen Cannon of the Southern District of Florida invalidated 2 of special counsel Jack Smith's sealed filings on Thursday. Kyle Cheney, a senior legal correspondent for Politico, wrote via X, Judge Cannon comes out swinging at special counsel this morning, striking 2 of the prosecutor's sealed filings and demanding an explanation of the legal propriety of using an out-of-district grand jury proceeding to continue to investigate the document case. Julie Kelly on Twitter, as per usual, puts all of this legal stuff into perspective. Breaking, I told you Judge Cannon is legit. She is not going to tolerate Jack Smith's BS. This is gold. She asks defense to raise possible grand jury abuse by the DOJ for conducting nearly all of the investigation in DC, then switching to Florida at the last minute for indictment. Here's part of the letter that was written to Jack Smith. Waltine Nada shall file a response to the motion of Garcia hearing on or before August 17, 2023. Among other topics raised in the motion, the response shall address the legal propriety of using an out-of-district grand jury proceeding to continue to investigate and or to seek post-indictment hearings on matters pertinent to the instant indicted matter in the district. They are clearly weaponizing partisan districts, using Obama judges and Soros-funded DAs to illegitimately persecute Donald Trump. Again, I'm going to say it, you're not a crazy person for seeing it. You simply have your eyes open. I mean, for Pete's sakes. Fulton County District Attorney Fannie Willis is using anti-mafia RICO law to go after Donald Trump over a case that has no standing to begin with. Donald Trump's correct. His case should absolutely change venue. The DC judge should be recused. And it's yet again more example as to why these systems of justice, these establishment systems in general, should not be given blind trust because they're obviously compromised, corrupt, and weaponized. Democrat voters, blind sheep, walking directly into the slaughterhouse. Anyways, that's what I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe to the channel. You know we'd love to have you here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.